was contacted a few weeks ago by BenQ. They wanted me to check out their ScreenBar e-reading LED task lamp. It's basically an office lamp that hangs off of your monitor. It's designed with auto dimming features. It has a hue adjustment so you can go from cool to warm, and it hangs on any monitor. Well, just about any normal shape monitor. This would not work on a curved monitor. Well, maybe it would actually. I don't have a curved monitor to test, but we'll say it's a maybe. When opening the box, there's a presentation here. Unfortunately, everything inside of it was in a language I obviously can't read. I'm sure it has English somewhere, but I wasn't going to investigate any further. There's a premium feel to everything here. Honestly, this is probably the best review sample I've ever gotten. The box itself was quite interesting, in the sense of everything was explained, simplified, and right there for you to see, plain as day, with pictures, just in case you couldn't read. The clip for this is weighty. It doesn't feel cheap, and everything is branded by BenQ. Also behind the plastic film there's rubber to keep from slippage. You know how most monitors are, glossy. This kind of holds it in place and makes it completely stable. It won't move unless you force it to move or an earthquake comes. The LED tube itself is sleek in design with a matte finish, which I like because anything glossy, you'll leave fingerprints. The LEDs inside seem like the traditional LEDs you see just about everywhere, mainly from Asian manufacturers. I know because they're replacing LEDs on a car for the license plate bracket, and these things are identical. Not a good thing, not a bad thing. They seem to survive any sort of crap I threw at them. Each piece of this is premium, in a sense. It has a minimalistic feel, and it also comes off professional. I would say that this is definitely geared towards someone who is a professional or in college, studying, etc. The micro USB also branded by BenQ and feels premium. Now you may wonder why I would praise a wire so much. In a day and age where almost everything you get, the manufacturers just throw in some generic cheap wire, Chinese made wires in a box, they grab one, here you go, here's a USB, screw you. This tiny accent says a lot to me about how they want to present their product. I used my 144 Hz monitor because it's oddly shaped rather than my Samsung, which easily clipped on. This is as big as a monitor can be for this to work as intended. Any larger than my Asus monitor and you will have problems. So if you don't have something thin as a monitor, this probably won't go well for you. The ScreenBar itself is made from aluminum alloy, or if you're overseas, aluminium alloy. There's no screen glare with this lamp due to its asymmetrical optical design. It only illuminates the desk and ensures zero reflective glare on the screen. Also, it has adjustable color temperatures. Warm light goes at 2700K while cool light is 6500K. So if you've ever put custom lights in your older cars or motorcycles, you know what I'm talking about. The principle is pretty much the same. Like with HIDs, if you've ever put one in your car or motorcycle, then you'll know that the light range can vary. Meaning like 2700K is like a warm yellow light. And then when you get higher, like let's say, you'll notice when you look at the little diagram, there's like a white in the middle. I'd say it's like 4500K. And 4500K is as close as you get to pure white. And then when you move up to its highest setting, which is cool light, that's 6500K, it's white but with a slight blue tinge to it. Any higher than that, like 12 or 10K, you kind of get into like purple and crazy colors. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit. I forgot to mention the fact that this also has its own little sensor, and it auto dims itself depending on the illumination of the room, which is pretty neat. It's USB powered, so it sort of saves you some space when it comes to wires, so it's not like another wire going to your power brick on the floor. I like that, but for me, I have so many wires coming out of my computer, I'm running out of USB 3 ports. I didn't even talk about the buttons on top of the lamp itself. They're not push buttons, they're like kind of sensory. If you ever used a PlayStation 3, you just like the heat of your finger kind of like triggers it to go off. So there's no need to mash anything, you just put your finger on it and it gets going. I kind of like that. It's a futuristic feel. But the downside is if it ever broke, yeah, you'd have to send it for a replacement. I don't know how you'd repair something like that. Surprisingly, going into this, I found myself doing something I haven't done in years, and that was sitting down and doodling. Simply because the product itself was good. You know, it was good enough for me to actually sit and draw. One of the big issues I had drawing for years is never having a good lamp. Never having a lamp where the light was just adjustable for me to enjoy or not strain my eyes. If you ever sat and drawn for a long time with a yellow tinted lamp, it does a number on your retinas, man. With the range of colors here, I see this being a fantastic lamp for anyone who is a professional or student alike. This is something I could recommend to somebody who still sits and does work by the desk, and that their computer isn't just for gaming, it's for actually doing something like your taxes, or keeping up with your house payments, or working on this damn essay because you're taking some class on social dynamics or some weird crap like that. Also, it is fantastic for reading comic books. Now, I know you don't want to get your oily fingers in these classic paperback comics, but this one's not in the greatest of shape, so I figured, why not? And I actually sat and read a Wolverine comic. Man, it's been a long time. Usually now when I buy comic books, I, just buy them, keep them in the sleeve, and then leave them in a box to never return, and then I read the comic digitally. I know. I'm weird like that. And if I ever open up a comic book, I wear rubber gloves. But that has nothing to do with this lamp. I would recommend this to anyone who is in need of a lamp that wants to save space, but also wants something beautiful, something refined, something that doesn't, take away from the clean nature of one's desk. As I know, most people are really OCD when it comes to keeping this beautiful sort of workstation and computer. This is perfect for them. As the Japanese would say, it's kondo. That's Japanese for beautiful. It's just all around classy. And it's not often I get to mess with something that feels that way. Oh well, I'm sure I will get angry messages in the comment section for even working on something like this. And at that point, I'm out of here. Rate, comment, subscribe if you so choose to. If not, to hell with it. You know how it is. I can't ask anyone to care more than me in these days of apathy. But just remember, the more of you that follow me, the more respectable I become and the more likely I can review stuff. Which, I don't think everybody cares about. But for those who do, this might be a boon for you. And until next time, adios, bichachos.